Jai Swaminarayan. Today we are reading Sārangpur 15 of the Vachanamrut. This passage is titled Obstinate, Mediocre, and Mature Gopis. In my limited understanding, a gopi is a milkmaiden, often in reference to Govinda, to Sri Krishna, especially in his childhood as he was surrounded by many cows. On Bhadorva Sudhi the 4th, Samvat 1877, which is equivalent to the 11th of September 1820, Sriji Maharaj was sitting on a large decorated cot on the veranda outside the rooms of Jiva Kachar's Darbar in Sārangpur. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of munis, scholars as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him. Thereupon, Sriji Maharaj said, "Here, I shall ask a question. There are two types of devotees of God. One has such deep love for God that they cannot bear even a second without his darshan, without his sight. Their love is very obviously noticeable. Another devotee of God possesses knowledge of the Atma, the true self beyond the body, beyond the mind, as well as total vairagya, dispassion towards worldly things. They also have love for God, but their love does not appear to be like the love of the previously mentioned devotee. Furthermore, although the former devotee's bhakti, loving devotion, is extremely appealing, they possess neither knowledge of the Atma nor vairagya. The latter may have knowledge of the Atma and vairagya, but their bhakti, their loving devotion, is not as appealing as the former devotees. Of these two devotees, whose bhakti is superior and whose bhakti is inferior? That is the question." To this, Swayam Prakashanand Swami replied, "They who have intense love for God is better, even if they do not have knowledge of the Atma and Vairagya." Sriji Maharaj then countered, "With what understanding do you say that one who has not have knowledge of the Atma and Vairagya is better? Such a person believes their self to be the body, and so whenever they come upon any of the panch vishais, the 5 objects of the senses, that comfort their body, they will develop affection for them. Consequently, their love for God will diminish. So why do you consider them to be superior?" Swayam Prakashanand Swami clarified, "I do not consider one who develops affection for the Vishayas to be a devotee who loves God. Rather, I consider one who is like the Gopis to be such a devotee." Thereupon, Sriji Maharaj explained, "The Gopis were not so naive. They were so wise that their wisdom could transcend the understanding of even those who possess knowledge of the Atma and Vairagya. They also spoke as eloquently as those who are well versed in diplomacy. In addition, they knew God precisely as he should be known. Even Uddhav, the wisest of the Yadavs and God's agent, became overwhelmed when he realized the Gopis' understanding. That same Uddhavji later said, "God has shown great mercy to me by sending me to impart Gyan, knowing wisdom, to the Gopis." He had actually gone to preach to the Gopis, but upon hearing their words, he himself imbibed the Gopis' preaching. Though you may say that the Gopis were not very intelligent, there were, in fact, 3 distinctions amongst them: obstinate, mediocre, and mature. Of these, the characteristics of the obstinate gopis are as follows. They would often rebuke what God said. They would often rebuke God and say themselves, "We have gone out of our way doing things for you, yet you do not even take the slightest notice of us." Furthermore, if they were teased further, they would be upset with God and speak such harsh words that one would feel they would soon fall from the path of God. Those gopis who are described as such in the scripture should be known as obstinate gopis. Those who are mediocre gopis, however, would never become angry with God and would never speak such harsh words. But by using their shrewdness, they would employ cunning ploys to conceal their selfishness from others and do whatever they please, while also doing whatever God pleases. I.e., they would not do only that which pleases God. Furthermore, even if they have to do something that pleases only God, they would definitely use a cunning method to do whatever pleases themselves as well. Those gopis who are described as such in the scripture should be known as mediocre gopis. In comparison, mature gopis would do only that which pleases God. In no way, though, would they use any cunning methods to satisfy their selfishness. Their only wish was to please God. Therefore, they remain happy with whatever pleases God. Furthermore, they would never become angry at or jealous of the gopis who are their equals. They would also renounce vicious natures such as egotism, matsar, etc., and remain alert in the service of God. Those gopis who are described as such in the scriptures should be known as mature gopis. In this manner, there are 3 distinctions amongst the gopis. Overall, the gopis had extreme wisdom in their understanding, and thus their love cannot be said to be without understanding. Also, they had thoroughly realized the glory of God. Due to the power of that realization of God's glory, the virtues of Atma realization, of self-realization, and Vairagya, worldly dispassion, naturally flourished in their hearts. Therefore, it was due to the power of realizing God's glory that countless redemptive virtues such as Atma realization, Vairagya, etc. were fully developed in the gopis. Now, the characteristics of such a devotee are as follows. They wish for only those panch vishais, i.e. sight, sound, smells, taste, and touch, which are related to God, but not for those which are related to anything else. Then, through those vishais, they develop intense affection for God, so much so that even though they do not possess the virtues of Atma realization and Vairagya, they still do not harbor any desire in their heart except for that of God. Consider the following example. When it has not rained, the seeds of different types of grass cannot be seen anywhere on earth. But when it does rain, so much grass grows that even the earth cannot be seen. Similarly, one who does not possess the virtues of Atma realization and Vairagya, when one who does not possess the virtues of Atma realization and Vairagya meets with bad company, though they may seem to have no desire for vishais other than God, they will begin to harbor desires for those objects. Furthermore, their mind will become corrupted, and they will not remember God in their heart. Instead, they will constantly crave for the vishais, for the experiences of the senses. As a result, that devotee who loves God but does not possess the virtues of Atma realization and Vairagya will feel, I do not have even the slightest love for God. Thus, a devotee who has love for God but does not possess the virtues of Atma realization and Vairagya is extremely inferior. In comparison, one who has the virtues of Atma, self-realization, and Vairagya, worldly dispassion, even though their love for God seems ordinary, feels the form of God is forever present within my Jivatma, my soul. Because of this realization, they may not seem outwardly enthusiastic for the darshan, touch, etc. of God's form. In fact, they may appear to be very quiet. However, the roots of their love are very deep. Moreover, their love is not the type that would diminish due to the influence of bad company. Therefore, this devotee is superior and is ekantik, absolute, pure. Thank you for listening. That was the end of Sārangpur 15. So, it is clear that even if we do not possess profound love for God in this tradition, Atma-realization and Vairagya are firm support to facilitate our devotion, our bhakti. Jai Swaminarayan.